let's talk about design. It's literally all around us, shaping our world in ways we barely even register. I mean, think about it. From the way you hold your phone to the flow of your kitchen. When it's done right, life is just easier. But when it's done wrong, it can be just unbelievably frustrating.
And I know you've been there. Have you ever walked right up to a big glass door and pushed, like with your whole body, only to realize it says pull? Or maybe you've tried to use a new TV remote and you can't even figure out how to change the volume. In that moment, you probably felt kind of silly, right? Like, what's wrong with me?
Well, here's the secret. It was never you. It's the design. That little pang of frustration is actually a huge red flag that whatever you were using wasn't designed with a real person, with you in mind. And believe it or not, there's a whole field of study dedicated to fixing exactly that. And the solution isn't just about, making things look cool or sleek. It's way deeper than that. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think, a mindset that puts people right at the heart of the entire process. It's called human factors engineering. And really, all it means is designing systems that are built to support how humans actually work and think. It's a total change in perspective. We stop asking people to bend over backwards to use clunky technology and start building technology that actually works for people. So where does it all start? With something super simple, actually. Empathy. It's all about the designer taking a second to put themselves in the shoes of the person who's actually going to use this thing every day. You have to understand their world before you can even think about designing for it. Okay, but how do you actually do that? How do you practice empathy in a way that leads to better design? Well, it boils down to asking three really simple but really powerful questions.
So this whole framework really rests on these three questions. First, who are the users? What are their skills? What do they expect? Second, what are they trying to do and where are they doing it? Is it a quiet office or a chaotic factory floor? And third, and this one's huge, when will they be doing it? Because that gets into things like stress, fatigue, and time of day, which can completely change how a person interacts with something.
And when designers start asking who, what, and when, they can really start to step into the user's shoes. Let's look at a few real-world examples to see how this plays out. Okay, picture this. You're designing a new medical device for an operating room. You have to think about the who. It's a surgeon. And the what? Well, they're in the middle of a complex procedure wearing these thick surgical gloves. A tiny, fiddly little button that might work perfectly on your phone is an absolute disaster in that situation. The design has to account for someone who can't use their fingertips. Or what about this one? An operator using heavy machinery somewhere that's freezing cold and damp. The controls can't be slick metal that gets slippery, and they can't require you to take your gloves off to use them. The environment, the what in our questions, totally dictates the design choices here.
And this last one really gets at the win. Think about a control room operator pulling an overnight shift. It's 3 a.m. Their natural alertness is at its lowest point. So how should an alarm system work? A little polite, quiet beep? No way. It's going to get missed. The design has to be loud, clear, and impossible to ignore to cut right through that fatigue.
So, you see what happens? When you start with this human-centered approach, the whole goal changes. It's not just about building something that technically functions. It's about creating things that feel like they belong in our lives. It's design that just works for people.
And the difference is just night and day. Without this kind of thinking, you get frustration, you get errors, you get inefficiency. But when you design with people in mind, things become intuitive, systems become safe, and the whole process becomes way more effective. It's not just a small tweak, it is a complete transformation of the entire experience.
So I want to leave you with a final thought. Now that you kind of have this new lens for looking at the world, start paying attention. The next time you're fighting with a simple gadget or a confusing app, ask yourself those questions. Who is this made for? What were they trying to do? When were they doing it? And you'll start to see it everywhere. It's not you, it's the design. So the real question is, what in your world wasn't designed for people?